Hey guys, welcome back to StarCast Stoke Remarks. Along with James, my name is Ryan Chambers. We are the official Dallas Stars podcast of THP. It wasn't a funny game. James, for those of you that are listening on the audio side, James was just a little too high. You couldn't see the top of his head. So he very slowly just pushed the button on his chair to go down. Anyways, DraftKings Sportsbook is our official sponsor of this podcast and all of THPN. We appreciate them being our sponsor. Use that promo code THPN the next time you go and use their app. The Stars lose by a final score of 6-3 tonight, although the score was not really indicative of what really happened in the game tonight, James. Really frustrating game, but not because the Stars necessarily played bad. They just made a couple of stupid mistakes, individual mistakes that kind of cost them the game tonight.
Yeah, and it was just and like you said, it was just a few, and Edmonton just capitalized on those. And really, the game was honestly quite enjoyable for 50 minutes. So it was a nice game to watch. I thought overall it was pretty well fought on both sides. In the end, we just made too many mistakes.
And we'll get into those mistakes here in a little bit, but let's just start with the first period here. First 5 minutes, we're just kind of feeling everybody out. There wasn't much going on there, but still pretty good game. Both teams were ready to play. It was a fun game overall, and all throughout tonight's game. But the first thing I wrote down was there was a really big save by Otter on Evan Bouchard. I think is his first name, Bouchard. And then Hintz would have a chance, and then Robo would have a shot and a chance. It's a tip, and it almost goes 5-hole, but Stuart Skinner gets the save there. Pavelski would also have a tip chance, and then shots with 8 minutes remaining in the first period. It's 6-6. There's a really big hit by Glendening in the D zone, which is we're starting to see that more physical side out of Glendening, which is good. And then the Oilers have a scary chance right off the rush, and literally about 15 seconds after said rush for Oilers, Hintz scores the first goal of the game. It's a 3-on-2 with a Dallas rush chance. It's just a perfect tic-tac-toe play by that top line. What do you think of the goal there, James?
Yeah, it was funny because I think everyone who was watching here all screamed when Robertson passed it because he was alone in the slot. We're like, what are you doing? Why'd you pass it? But Hintz just has the easy slap shot, one-timer into a pretty much open net. So.
And he didn't even get it completely at all either, did
no,
he?
he didn't.
The shot. He didn't. I don't want to say he.
It was a wide open net.
Yeah. I don't want to say he fanned on it, but he slightly fanned on it. So, but
I'm sure everyone in the building and everyone watching thought that Robertson was going to shoot that puck. I mean, the goaltender definitely thought he did, and that's why Hintz gets the goal because it's just wide open on the side.
After Hintz gets that goal, Ben fills in McDavid, which is kind of nice to see. It's good to see Jamie Benn do that. There was a really good defensive play by Kiviranta on McDavid with a pass off the rush, and McDavid would have had an easy goal there, but good play by Kiviranta. And then, of course, the person that can never score in a Dallas Stars uniform, Matthias Janmark, as an Oiler, scores off a Koskinen pass, and Sagan's got to make a defensive play there, and that was a big mistake by Sagan.
Yeah, it was a huge mistake by Sagan. He lets the pass, first of all, go through him. He's not supposed to be stopping that pass anyway. He's supposed to be tying up Janmark's stick. And then Janmark shoots it into the net, and it goes past Sagan's stick a second time. So he missed the puck twice, and he wasn't even in the right place to tie him up. It's just a bad play.
Again, that will be a very common theme throughout tonight's episode is individual mistakes, and Sagan there with an individual mistake. Right after the goal, the Oilers start pressing with about 4 minutes remaining, and they go for that second goal. And Yamamoto gets a chance off the rush after Nils Lundqvist tried to pinch. He did not get a successful pinch there. The shot just missed the net, and it was a scary chance for him. Janmark and Marchment got matching minors, which I thought was kind of weird. So there was 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. During those 2 minutes, it was actually kind of fun. The 4-on-4 was pretty good. I thought the Oilers were going to completely outskate us, but the Stars held their own against them.
Yeah, and honestly, we had Johnston had a chance in that 4-on-4 that he probably should have scored.
And that was the next thing I wrote down is he was completely robbed by Stuart Skinner. And if he elevates it just a little bit more, just a little bit, that's in the back of the net.
Yeah, it's just not high enough.
And he also was handcuffed a little bit. He wasn't able to get full elevation
Yeah,
on it. So
but I mean, this is those chances you're gonna get once every like 3 or 4 games. You have to put them in the back of the net.
with a minute remaining, fans call a penalty. The refs don't. It's Nurse on Pavelski. I don't think it was a penalty.
It
I
was a
think it was
slew
Pavelski
foot.
trying to make a play.
It was a
I don't
slew foot.
know. I don't think so.
Pavelski's trying to make a play there, but I mean, he does get slew footed. So I think he could have gotten called for tripping very easily there. It was annoying to me that then the broadcast went and talked about how great of a defensive play it was.
Yeah, Darnell Nurse sounds like.
And I'm not gonna comment about the broadcast for the rest of the night because I just don't like national broadcasts in general. But I get so frustrated when I hear them talk.
Mm-hmm. And then right after that, Seguin turned the puck over twice in the final minute of that period, and I was just like, that was probably one of the worst periods I've seen Seguin play. I didn't even realize that you had posted that on
I
that Twitter
tweeted
community
it.
group. Yeah,
I tweeted it. It seriously is the worst period Seguin has played in a very, very long time. I mean, even when we were mad at him for not scoring at all and all that, through all that, he never had a period that was this bad defensively.
and he was the catalyst in that first period. Is like he's got to make that play there. He's got to be able to make that defensive play there, and he played better and he got a goal as the game went along. But some of those turnovers, some of those mistakes, unfortunately, would cost the game tonight for the Stars.
Yeah, and it's frustrating that after the first period, it's tied 1-1 when really we should be ahead by 1.
Going into the second period, right off the bat, Johnson scores off of a Marchment pass. Holy crap. What a pass and what a shot. That right there shows you exactly what Wyatt Johnston can be for years to come. And that's the first time we've kind of seen a streaky, Wyatt Johnston going for it with his speed. And I mean, it was Skinner had no chance on that shot.
Yeah, a lot of the time we see him near the net stick handling and getting those nice backhand goals and stuff. But he's just flying up the side. The forward that was supposed to be back was not as far back as he should have been. And Johnson skates right around him, whips a nasty 81-mile-an-hour wrist shot to the top left corner.
No chance. Absolutely
no chance. No chance at all. Literally picks a corner. It hit the corner and dropped.
Seguin would have a redirect chance a minute later, so I was like, okay, I got to mention that because that was a good play by Seguin there. Dallas would go on the penalty kill. Seguin goes to the box for hooking. I'm just like, and I actually wrote this down. I was like, okay, he did something good. Oh, he did something bad.
Yeah. So and that was one of the things that I was thinking about coming into this game. It's like this Oilers team, they're going to score on the power play if we give them any. And luckily we only ended up giving them 2 tonight, but they still score on 1. Don't do it. Especially against, their power play has just been really hot recently too, in my opinion. You just can't do it. McDavid being on the ice for 2 minutes straight, they're going to find a way to score. Someone's going to be open.
And the goal you're talking about ties the game at 2 on the power play from Zach Hyman. It was just a point shot, and he finds the rebound, puts it away. It was just a mad scramble in front of Ottinger there. So 2-2 going forward. Marchment would have a chance for himself in the slot. It was a good play by him there. Dallas would go on the power play. Kulak would get the interference penalty there. Jamie Benn hits the pipe after a broken play. It was crazy how it got to the net, but nonetheless, Benn hits the pipe. Edmonton kills the power play.
That pipe hit was also it went off of Nurse's leg. Nurse stuck out his leg and got enough on it that it deflected off and then hit the pipe and then goes out. So it's a great play by Nurse, and you probably are wishing that Ben would have elevated it just like literally 3 centimeters. That's all it needed, and it's in the back of the net.
If you do not elevate, you will not accumulate. Thank you,
and that marks the second time that we're right in front of the net on top of the crease with the puck and with a half wide open net, and we miss it.
Moving on from there, they do kill the power play, Edmonton does. And I thought it was an okay power play, but they could have used a lot more pressure there. It just felt like they had their chances, but it wasn't like a push, if that makes any sense. They weren't getting any momentum off of it, I guess is what I should say.
Yeah, for sure. We would get into the zone and we would set up for a second and then we would take a shot like instantly and it'd go off the boards and out of the zone. It was we just need to calm down a little bit on the first one. I think just trying to get back in the game after giving up the lead like that is just rough.
Right after the Edmonton Oilers kill off the power play, about 3 minutes later, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he scores from an extreme angle off of a Ben turnover. So Ben turns the puck over, but I don't blame Ben on that play. I don't blame Otter. I don't blame the defense
Suter.
That was on that side. It was just a good shot, and it was just a freak play.
Yeah, it was a shot that went off of Suter's stick and just rode up it and went right into the net. It happens. It's unlucky. Sometimes you get rewarded for throwing the puck at the net, and they did.
And he has been hot too, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's been playing very well as of late.
I thought he was their best skater on the ice tonight, honestly.
Right after that, Miller got some good, had a couple of shots there, and I kind of wrote this down. I want to talk about it for a split second because this was halfway through the second period. It looks like Miller's got some sort of offensive potential. Have you noticed anything like that? And it was just a thought I had.
I mean, he's looked great the past couple of games, honestly. He's taking shots when he thinks he has a chance to score. He's taking slap shots from the point. He's taking over being the aggressive guy on the Suter-Miller pairing, and it's making Suter play back, which I love, because then Suter never touches the puck and he can just make the defensive plays that he always makes, and that's fine, and it works. So yeah, I like the way Miller has looked recently. He's trying to be more offensive, and honestly, the past couple of games, I mean, he's had 1 or 2 goals. He's looked good.
Would you give him a shot on the power play? That was my thought, because we've been talking about how Suter has not been doing good, and we've been trying to find
still on that second power play unit now. I mean, he played on the second power play unit tonight.
And I think he's looked good, but I think there's something there for Miller. And I think if you want to give him a boost in his confidence, I think that could be something that we could unlock Miller's potential. I don't know how much is there, but I'd at least give him a shot.
I think the difference is that when we see Miller be aggressive like this, he's always the one taking the shots. Whereas the defenseman on the power play is supposed to kind of, you're supposed to be quarterbacking it. You're passing, you're trying to get it to people in good spots. So I don't know that I want to see Miller on the power play because of that.
And that's fair. It was just a random thought I had.
I mean, maybe you could throw him on there as a second defenseman on the second power play unit. I wouldn't mind that instead of having like Foxa on there. I think that
I
would
did
work.
notice that. Yeah. Robo would have a wraparound shot. Nothing would come of it. There was an extended D-zone shift for the fourth line because they were being pressed in by the Oilers. Big hit by Dellandrea with 3 minutes remaining on Kulak. There was a mini scrum between the two for a little bit, or nothing would come of that, though. Ben would have a redirect chance, and then Sagan would score on the Dallas power play after Fogle gets an interference call. And I wanted them to show more aggression here, and they didn't really on the power play, but they got reward with it nonetheless. And it was Sagan with the redirection from Marchment point shot. So Marchment with 2 assists on the night.
Yeah, it comes straight off of a face-off. It's a set play. You win the face-off, you pull it back, you give it to someone at the point. Someone's in front of the net, you slap it to them, and it's a tip in. It's a good play, and it comes directly because we win as many face-offs as we do.
To end the period, Edmonton has a 2-on-1, and it's Yamamoto again. I mean, there were too many odd man rushes for my liking tonight. And he had a chance after Dallas had a really bad line change. So that could have been very, very bad for the Stars, but nothing comes of it. And to end the second period, it's 3-3. And I was like, this is a great game. Both teams are playing pretty well. And I was out honestly thinking, even if we lose this game, I'm still happy about the outcome. Yeah. And then unfortunately that would change. And it wasn't because the Stars played bad. It's because they made individual mistakes, and we'll talk about it here in the third. But what did you think about the second overall, or up to that point in the game?
Again, I thought it was a fun game to watch. It was a very competitive game. It's the kind of game that you want national broadcast to get. You don't want to get like the dumb blowouts where your Boston's playing the Coyotes. This was a very competitive game. It looked great, and we played really well for, I'd say, like 50 minutes.
So going into the third, Dallas would get a power play within the first minute. Koskinen gets the high sticking on Miller, and this was a common theme on the power play for the Stars tonight. But and I guess maybe this is just through the season too, they've been having a hard time entering the O-zone cleanly on the power play. They just can't do it. And it seems like the only way they can be super successful on the power play is if they win the faceoff right off the bat. And there were several times in tonight's game that they didn't win the faceoff, and they were never able, to cleanly enter the zone. Is that something that you noticed?
A little bit, yes. But I mean, we were winning the majority of faceoffs tonight, and we were just losing the ones on the power play. I mean, that's just, you got to be a little bit more intense on those. The defenders definitely are, when you're on the penalty kill, you're definitely more intense on those faceoffs. Because if you win them, they have to re-enter the zone like that. That's why those faceoffs are so important. So losing important faceoffs or key faceoffs was definitely a problem tonight, at least on the power play.
And that shows in the faceoff percentage tonight. Dallas was at 59% to Edmonton's 41%. So we very clearly dominated in the faceoff circle overall. But continuing on from there, Edmonton would kill that power play off. Dallas would go on the penalty kill, so Edmonton would go back on the power play. Dellandrea gets the call for chipping, and I thought it was just a bunch of crap. McDavid 100% just fell down, and I hate that. No offense to those that play soccer, but it reminded me of those soccer players. They get what's the technical term? There's a slide tackle that happens, and then they don't even get hit, and then they sit there and grab their shin for like 30 seconds. And I'm like, that's so pathetic.
Yeah, it's the strongest, one of the strongest skaters in the league gets tapped on the knee and he falls, and it's tripping. I mean, but that's also just, we should know this by now. You can't put your stick there. Don't put your stick there. I thought we learned that.
So during that power play, though, for the Oilers, Hyman would actually take an interference call. I didn't actually think that it was an interference call, but we got lucky on that. So it'd be 4-on-4.
It 100% was on purpose. He's coming back out of the zone because he's going to be offside if he isn't, and he skates right into the back of Hakanpää and trips him, while McDavid is trying to enter the zone on the side that Hakanpää is on. You can't do that. You can't. I mean, no, you can't. If he just like hits him like shoulder contact, that's fine. That's not what he did. He stuck at his skate. He did skate to the back of Hakanpää's skate and tripped him.
I need to go back and watch that play again because I'm not sure exactly what I saw, but I'll take your word for it. It was 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 11 seconds, and then Dallas had a power play for about 48 seconds. And there was not much on that power play, but the movement from the Stars was better in those 48 seconds than in the power play before, which was a full 2 minutes. So that was the frustrating part. Miro would have a point shot with about 10 minutes remaining in the third period. Chaos ensues in front of Skinner, and of course, Pavelski got a tip on it but that's what Pavelski does. And there was a great D play by Suter on a backdoor play that Hyman had, so it could have been a goal right then and there. And then there was a really big chance for Miller. Miller had all the time in the world, and he misses the net. I mean, you at the very least, Colin Miller, it's like, I know you're not a scorer, and you're not, in the top 4 defense right now, but you've got to hit the net with that shot, especially when it's this close. And honestly, James, I thought up to this point, I thought the Stars were the better team in the third period.
They definitely played harder earlier in the third, but it was just, I mean, we missed too many chances tonight. We had too many scoring chances that we should have put it in the back of the net that we just didn't. I mean, we had the Johnston one on the 4-on-4 early in the first. We had the Ben one when we were on the power play, and we have another Miller one here that doesn't even get on net. it's too many missed opportunities on grade A scoring chances.
And I was getting really frustrated at this point because I'm just like, it really is just going to take one mistake for Edmonton to turn around and take the lead. And of course, that's exactly what happens. Miro turns the puck over after a questionable pass. He's
Really
made some
bad pass.
plays.
It was a really bad pass.
He's made some plays this year that I've just like, he normally wouldn't make those kind of plays. And we've seen that at least recently, not a ton, not as bad as Suter, but still plays that he normally doesn't make. And he turns the puck over, turns it over to, of all people, Leon Draisaitl, and he passes it to Warren Fogle. Fogle puts it in the back of the net. It's 4-3 Edmonton.
Yeah. And honestly, at that point, it was kind of dagger time, because I know that we've had the other team score third period goals against us like this, and then we come back, but we had all the momentum this time, all of it. We were controlling the puck really well, and we were not letting McDavid or Draisaitl touch the puck basically at all tonight. We were doing amazing at it, and it just took one turnover, and it goes straight to Draisaitl, and it's in the back of the net. It's so frustrating because we played very well against McDavid and Draisaitl. I think careful is the better word for it. We played very carefully when McDavid and Draisaitl were on the ice, and the one time we didn't, it goes in the back of the net, and that's just not sticking all the way to the game plan till the end of the game. It's a really, really bad turnover from Heiskanen, and honestly, that's what cost us the 2 points tonight.
That's some very good insight, James. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. I couldn't have said it any better. Right after the goal, Edmonton would just go straight for it to try and extend their lead, and Otter made a very big save on Zach Hyman. That could have ended the game right then and there, and at least it was extended for another 4 minutes to at least give Dallas a chance to get back in this game. Miller had a chance with the third line on the ice. The third line was doing really well, cycling the puck deep in the zone. Miller came down the left-hand side, and he had a pretty decent shot at it. And then it was saved by Skinner, and he was hacked off because he took a stick and whacked the glass after the shot was saved. So Miller had a couple chances tonight. And then 3 minutes later, McDavid scores on a 2-on-1 rush. It goes 5-hole. And if there's a thing that you hate to hear as a goalie, is you hate to hear the thud in the back of the net, because that means that the puck was not even elevated at all.
Yeah. It's a pinch from Suter. That's exactly what he's supposed to do when we have 4 minutes left in the game and we're down 1. But like I said, when Suter touches the puck, he tends to turn it over. That's exactly what he did. Goes the other way. It's 2-on-1. You're hoping that Otter saves that one. He probably should have had that one, but it's Connor McDavid. What are you going to do?
And then Janmark, we get his second of the game. The dude scored more against the Stars than he ever did for the Stars. And he gets the empty net goal, his second goal of the game. And the Edmonton Oilers end with the win tonight, 6-3. We kind of already talked about it, but let's talk about it again. What was the biggest thing that happened in tonight's game, James?
We played very well against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl for 50 minutes, and then we didn't. That's literally all it takes. That's what it takes to lose against the Edmonton Oilers right now. If Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are on, and you're not paying attention and being as careful as you possibly can be every single time they are on the ice, they are going to score.
For me, it was just missed opportunities and individual mistakes. Mm-hmm. If we were like titling all these episodes, that's what I would title it: missed opportunities, individual mistakes, because there were several individual mistakes. Seguin probably had the worst period defensively that I think I've ever seen him play in recent mind. And there was Suter. I know you said Suter did what he was supposed to, but
you still turn the puck over.
You gotta know who's on the ice at that point, though.
But honestly, once we were there, it was already Heiskanen had made the biggest mistake of the night, and there was no turning back from it. It was going to take a pinch like that to go our way and us to be able to put it in the back of the net, and it wasn't happening.
Well, and then which goal was it? Oh, no, it wasn't a goal, but Nils Lundqvist also tried to pinch back in the first period, and it led to a really good chance for Yamamoto.
Yeah.
So there was another individual mistake there. It didn't cost him anything at that point, but it could have. And then as for the missed opportunities, you already mentioned it. Johnston had a chance to get his second of the game. Ben had an opportunity if he just elevated it just a little bit more. And obviously I even forgot who was the last one. Miller had a chance as well. So I think that's all it was. I'm not mad. I'm not angry at all, but I am very frustrated because we played such a good game overall, and we don't get to reap the rewards tonight.
And unfortunately, really the only person that you can kind of point at to say was kind of the turning point, it was Heiskanen tonight. Heiskanen, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Our first unit scores because Heiskanen is the one quarterbacking it. The first unit on the power play tonight did not look great. And he makes the costly turnover that pretty much sends us into desperation mode where we have to pinch to get that extra goal. And when you turn it over to the best two scorers in the league, yeah, they're going to score.
So, a couple of questions that I saw over here in the chat over here. I'll pull them up for a second. But Ryan, are we worried about Otter giving up 5 goals?
No. It's
typically
Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, that's it. That's two things. Yeah, first off, it's the Edmonton Oilers. I don't really blame them for any of the goals tonight. I don't. It was individual mistakes from other people.
The only one that I think you could say was a mistake on his part was the one that he gave up to McDavid. And even then, it's McDavid on a 2-on-1. That is going to be hard. You're not going to expect him to go low either.
Yeah. And the other thing is that you got to give Otter a break because on the road trip, he played excellent. He played absolutely excellent, and he was really good. And we gave him so much crap because before that road trip, he was kind of struggling a little bit. But tonight, I don't think it's his fault at all, and I'm not worried about him.
And really, if we don't turn over the puck, if Hastings doesn't turn over the puck right there and give away that goal that the Oilers take to lead, or if Sagan is just stick checking Janmark on the first goal, it's completely different. I mean, it was defensive mistakes that led to the goals. Whereas before the road trip, it was kind of just, he was coughing up some really bad rebounds and he was missing some kind of soft shots.
All right. So let's wrap up the game with a little bow. I do want to talk about one thing for one split second because it kind of popped up today, and I don't want to speculate, but I just hope everything's okay. We need to mention Denis Gurianov because maybe this explains everything as to why his play has been suffering over the past couple of years. He has taken a leave of absence from the team to return to Russia. And again, I hate to think about stuff like this, but it makes me think about the whole Flyers goalie prospect situation back in the offseason. And the fact that, there was threats basically by you know who. If I need to say his name, you don't know who I'm talking about certain players, including Artem Grushnikov, a Dallas Stars prospect, basically being threatened to serve in the Russian army with the invasion going on right now. And he's going back to Russia. I mean, I don't want to speculate or anything like that, but I all I say is that whatever it is, if it's like a family member death or something more serious or sinister is going on, I just hope that he's doing okay, and my prayers are out to him and his family right now because it could be a very scary situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I hate to end it on a sour note like that, but Dennis, if you hear this, our prayers are with you, man. Hope you're okay. Hope your family's okay.
And for how much how much crap we give him about how he's played and what we actually expect from him, he really is still he's a great hockey player. Our team is obviously worse without him. Anyone else in the lineup, it's pretty much not helping. But I mean, hopefully he's able to stay safe out there.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here tonight. We'll talk more tomorrow night. Because of the game tonight, I think we're going to do an extended episode tomorrow night. I think we still need to talk about that. I don't know if Chris is going to be able to do it because he kind of lost his voice. And, I had 2 root canals, by the way. So this is how much I love you guys.
I don't know how you're talking right now. I'm honestly impressed.
Yeah, I had it at 2 o'clock. I had 2 root canals done, and I'm still here talking to you guys. That's how much I love y'all and how much I care about this.
We didn't do biggest winners and losers.
Oh, shoot. I guess we do get that finish. Okay, that'll be a little bit more fun to end with. Okay, let's just do biggest loser first to get it out of the way since that's less fun. So biggest loser.
Heiskanen, because we had lots of power play chances, opportunities. He didn't look great on them, and he gives away a really, really bad turnover that cost us the game. Pretty simple.
I will give it to 2 people for 2 different reasons. Seguin in the first period was really bad, and I know that he scored the goal, but still, he had a very bad period defensively in the first, but I know he'll bounce back from that. And the second one is Miller, just because I see some offensive potential. I know. I see some offense. I see some offensive potential there from Colin Miller, and I just want to see him unlock it. And I think he can score some goals. So we'll see if he can unlock it. And he had multiple chances tonight and just couldn't get it in the back of the net. James, who's your biggest winner?
I was going to give my winner to Miller because Miller really has looked he's looked really, really good in the past couple of games. I know normally we do just one game, right? But he looked great in this game. He's getting his chances. That's not what we're expecting from him at all. He's kind of just a filler. Like, he's supposed to be like a Hawk and Paw. We just got him because we needed another player to play. And he is showing that he can do more than just fill minutes. He's showing that he can have those big slap shots from the point. He can give us opportunities to score. So, yeah, Miller, biggest winner.
For me, I'll give it to... I don't know.
Wyatt Johnston.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Wyatt Johnston. Actually, you were reading my mind.
I was like, reading your mind.
Yeah. Wyatt Johnston was fantastic tonight. If he just elevates it just a little bit, I think he has 2 goals in tonight's game. And maybe this game ends up a little differently because I think at that point it would have been what?
Would have been, we would have gotten the 3-2 lead instead of...
We would have gotten the 3-2 lead. Yeah, that's right.
Instead of giving up a 3-2 lead.
Right. So... if only.
Yeah, it just slipped through our fingers tonight. It was a competitive game until we gave a turnover up.
Yep.
That's the story of the game.
Lots more storylines coming to you guys. Tomorrow night, we'll talk a little bit about the Stars' lack of success against the playoff teams and definitely the top 10 teams. We need to talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about Dellandrea. I think we need to talk about him and Seguin and just there's something missing with this team with a top 6 forward and a top 4 defenseman. I feel like you get one of each and this team is really successful, but we'll talk about that more tomorrow night. Anything else, James, you want to say?
Nope. We got the game on Friday as well against Montreal at home. 7:00 start this time. It says starting at 8:50. Thanks, TNT.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, really.
Goodness. It's 12:05.
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted about it, but I was just like,
it's ridiculous. It's so late. I fully understand, because they want to do the doubleheader thing. It is so annoying.
Yes. I mean, the game ended at like, what, 11:15?
It was 11:30 almost.
Oh, man, it's ridiculous. All right, guys. Go and check out StarcasticRemarksShop.com for all the latest merch options. We do have a bath mat. We do have a bath mat. Chris, yes. If you're listening, we do have a bath mat now. And then also go check out our new website, StarcasticRemarks.com. I'm trying to get James to write a blog post. Everyone peer pressure James to do a blog post. He needs to do one because he has a lot of good thoughts, better than mine sometimes. And then we'd really appreciate it if you guys would leave us a review, comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. You know what to do. We'd really appreciate it. And along with James, my name is Ryan with 2 root canals done today. and we will catch you guys on the flip side. We hope you guys have a good, fantastic evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you guys are listening. We'll catch you guys tomorrow night.